Hi, I'm Blair Anderson. I'm a Green councillor in Glasgow and I'm also campaigning to end conversion therapy here in Scotland. I knew from quite a young age, as kids do, what their sexuality actually is, but I knew that if I was to come out, it probably wouldn't go down very well. I came from a very religious household with some pretty strict views on this sort of stuff, so yeah, I didn't think it would go down particularly well, but I was finding it so difficult to keep this secret around the people that I cared about, the people whose job it was to look after me. So eventually I did come out. It didn't go very well. It was made quite obvious that me being gay just wasn't an option. I did have to keep this a secret. Some people knew, the people that I told, but I was told that no one else could know. So I had to keep it a secret. I had to suppress it. Not just so that other people didn't find out, but also, hopefully, so that one day the feelings went away. Obviously, that's not how it works. As much as I, at times, would have liked to have been able to wish away my sexuality, that's just not how it happens. When you say conversion therapy, most people don't know what that is, don't know what that means. And the people who have an idea of what it is, the perceptions of it don't really match the reality anymore. When people think conversion therapy, they tend to think of fairly barbaric things, fairly dramatic things. So probably the most famous person who went through conversion therapy was Alan Turing, the man who decoded the Enigma machine during the Second World War, who helped to win the Second World War. Because homosexuality was still criminalised then, he was forced to go through chemical castration, which is obviously a really severe form of conversion therapy. There are other types of conversion therapy, things like, so-called corrective rape and electroshock therapy. However, for most people going through conversion therapy in Scotland today, that's not really what conversion therapy looks like anymore. Conversion therapy can take lots of different forms, but wherever someone is trying to suppress or change someone else's sexuality or gender identity, that is conversion therapy. For me, it took a few different forms. So, for example, coercive behaviour from caregivers. It meant that who I was able to see, when I was able to see them, activities and stuff would be controlled or monitored. When I started to become really quite unwell with my mental health, it also meant that I wasn't able to seek the help that I needed in case the truth came out about what was really causing the underlying issue. And some people have said to me, when you're a kid, your parents have the right to raise you as they see fit. And that's true, but only to a certain extent. If you've got a parent's right to instill their values and their beliefs into their children, does the kid not also have the right to feel safe at home, to feel loved, to feel protected from abuse and harm? I mean, when I was 15, I was considering killing myself. Did I not have a right to be protected from the harm which was forcing me to feel that way? I had quite difficult mental health for quite a lot of my childhood because of just the stress this situation puts you in when, one stray word could bring your whole life collapsing down, when the people who should be looking after you are the ones causing you the most harm. It's a really stressful thing to do as a child. So for me, I knew that if I made it out, if I made it to university, if I was able to get away, I might be able to get a second chance at life. I might be able to be gay without fear of the consequences of that. So I did, eventually. I made it out at 18, I moved away from university, and from then on I was able to start to put a bit more distance and get some slightly healthier boundaries around my life, who I wanted to be in this kind of second stage of living away from home. And eventually it got to the point where my relationship with my family broke down altogether. But I had the opportunity to finally be who I was. I wasn't afraid anymore. I didn't have to worry anymore about what people would think. I didn't have to keep secrets anymore. And I was finally able to start getting some help for the mental health issues that had plagued me for the past few years. When I was going through what I was going through, it started at a really young age. It started when I was, an early teen. And most early teens kind of struggle to find their own voice, to be confident, to assert themselves and to say what they really think. So faced with the risk of losing my home, losing my family, losing everything I knew about life, I didn't say no at any point. I never objected because I knew that I didn't really have a choice in the matter. If I had said no, nothing would have changed. If I had defied what I was told to do, and if I had decided to come out to people and, you know, be gay and not suppress my sexuality, I knew that that wasn't an option. I knew that I wouldn't have been safe if I'd done that. So no, I never said no, but there wasn't a point. So I suppose you could say that I did consent. I went along with what was expected of me, but when I almost lost everything and being told that I didn't have a choice, was that really consent? Did I really go along with it out of my own free will? I don't think I did. One day, not long after I came out, I came home and there was a fresh Bible laid out in my bed waiting for me when I got home, and there was a note inside with all the different Bible verses, which went into quite graphic detail about how I was going to be going to hell forever. When you're a child, that's a really traumatic thing to get from one of your parents. Other times I'll be told that if I didn't, comply, if I didn't go along with the conversion therapy which was happening, that, through shock or through divine punishment or through whatever, loved ones, members of my family would die. They would be killed because of the fact that I was gay. I was told repeatedly, can't tell anyone, no one can know, this should never come out, there's no one else like you. And I didn't know that gay people existed until I went away to university at the age of 18. I'd never met one before, so I thought I was the only person in the world who this was happening to. And the really sad thing is that conversion therapy is so isolating for so many people. At a time when people need community and solidarity more than very much any other time in their life, they are more often than not trapped. They are kept out of their community, they are kept away from their friends and potentially their loved ones. They're kept in a position where they have to keep this secret, they have to deny the most fundamental part of who they are. What happened to me and what's happening right now across Scotland to countless survivors of conversion therapy isn't illegal. Not yet. That's why we need a comprehensive ban on conversion therapy here in Scotland. I'm really proud that it's the Scottish Greens, through the Butte House Agreement, who finally secured a commitment to deliver that ban on conversion therapy. Greens have always been a party of LGBTQ+ justice. We have never shied away from a fight for equality and rights for queer people here in Scotland, from Section 28 to equal marriage and now conversion therapy. Queer people have been under attack like never before in the past few years, with unprecedented levels of hatred, homophobia, biphobia and transphobia levelled against queer people across Scotland. However, we are unequivocal. Where other parties might shy away from the fight, Greens will always stand up for equality and for justice. It's up to MSPs of all parties here in the Scottish Parliament to make sure that they finally deliver this ban, do justice for survivors and make sure no one else has to go through conversion therapy.